No, that's not okay. I stood up quickly and clenched my fists. Sometimes it's okay for wishes that can't be forgotten to come true. Cheshire Cat, I decided I'd choose Roddy. Roddy's shocked face looked back at me. As you wish, our Alice. With Roddy in tow, the Cheshire Cat and I went out in the back door of the Tsuraka pastry shop. In front, the Pan's fight continued. Oh, they're really tearing into each other this time. Roddy nodded in admiration. Crap, I completely forgot about them. Aw man, what should I do? I looked around, flustered. About what? What do you mean, what about this? I pointed to the spectacle still unfolding in front of me. I think you can just ignore it, Roddy said matter-of-factly. But I feel a little responsible for this scuffle. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Anpists like to fight about stuff. Yeah, birds like to fight about a lot of things. Them and we don't get along. That's like Afghanistan and Syria. Oh, they must be all riled up by your return, Alice. That's gotta be it. Oh yeah, that's it. That's totally it. Really? Then doesn't that mean it's my fault that they're fighting has gotten so hated? The Cheshire Cat paid no attention to my worries and walked into the middle of the mall with me still on his shoulder. Alice, wait, Cheshire Cat, the Ampus will see me. But nobody paid us any attention. The holy land of red beans is Hokkaido. What are you talking about? Red beans come from Tampa, Danagun. It seemed the subject of their fight had expanded to include the birthplace of their ingredients. Oh my lord, are you kidding me right now? We headed toward the elevator, narrowly avoiding the torn Ampus limbs soaring near us. But is it really okay that you choose me? Roddy asked dejectedly, stepping on fallen Ampens as they walked next to the Cheshire Cat. Of course, well, that is, the person who will eat you may not take the time to appreciate your taste. For real. That's okay. Right now, I'm just thankful that someone is going to eat me. Yeah. And her name is Godzilla. I'm glad. I don't know about that. Let's wait till we get there and see if you're still glad. Upon saying that, Amapan's head flew in an arc in front of us, shouting, What are you talking about? It's milk. Milk goes best with Anpan. Okay, the Anpan that threw the head shouted back, If you call yourself Japanese, it's tea. How dare you think it's milk? It's fucking tea, man, not milk. They seem capable of fighting over anything. Hey, is it really okay to leave the Anpans like this? Yeah, let them tear each other apart. I started to feel worried and pulled on the Cheshire Cat's hood. Let them fight until they are satisfied, remarked the unconcerned Cheshire Cat. I wish they would just get along. They're both delicious. How would you know? Well, actually, I don't think there is much of a difference in flavor between the two. Is chunky bean paste versus smooth bean paste really such a big deal? Hey, Roddy, which do you think better, smooth bean paste or chunky bean paste? Alice? Roddy let out an exerted hot sigh. Don't ask me that kind of question. You might as well ask me if I'm a cannibal. Can breads be cannibals? Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. How about you, Cheshire Cat? Cats don't eat bread, he said. Then he crouched so suddenly, and I almost fell off. You don't like bread? The Cheshire Cat stood up, turned his head, and smiled softly. If you were baked in bread, Alice, I would eat it. This cat's got an obsession with Alice. I don't think I'll bring this up again. No, let that one go. Restaurant and Abba looked exactly as we left it. However, the number of the frogs passed out between the hall and the kitchen had clearly increased. But the Duke hadn't budged from his spot where he laid his head on the table. If we don't hurry, they'll be escaping this hellhole by going to heaven. That's the Duchess. There's Godzilla. I pointed out to Roddy. So she's gonna eat me. Yep. What's with the gloomy reaction? Roddy smiled brightly. Alice, what? The Cheshire Cat pointed a finger at me. It wasn't his finger, though. It belonged to an Anpan. What the fuck? What you got going on underneath that hood of yours, creepy guy? He had probably picked it up off the floor. You don't just pick up a fucking loaf of bread off the floor and don't know it's there. Eat. I don't want it. What are you saying all of this sudden? Strawberry makes you small, red bean paste makes you big. The Cheshire Cat said, as if casting a spell. Makes you big. Does that mean I can return to my original size? The grinning face nodded. But that doesn't mean I'm thrilled to eat a finger, though. Eat it, Alice. Anpans may be simple-minded, but they don't taste half bad. Roddy twisted his neck to look at me while he did some stretching exercises. Okay. Reluctant, I accepted the finger, which was about the size of a loaf of bread. The Cheshire Cat put me down on the floor. After what Roddy said, I can't really argue. I'm ready. I psyched myself up and closed my eyes. I'm okay. It's just bread. Much better than human finger than anything else. At least it doesn't look anything like a cockroach or a slug. Alice? Sorry, it's nothing. I had accidentally imagined cockroach and slug shaped bread. Okay, I'm going to eat it now. I mustered up my courage and bit down on the tip of the finger. The fingernail seemed to be made of thin candy. It was crunchy and delicious. Oh, girl, you nasty. Though it was just the fingertip, after one bite I was already able to taste the red bean paste inside. The Ampus had red bean paste filling every nook and cranny of their bodies. I swallowed the Anpan. It's very good. Roddy laughed happily. The world began to shake. I started to feel as dizzy as I did when I shrank. The floor retreated further and further from me. Dun 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 dun! When I felt the Cheshire Cat pat my back, I had returned to normal size. I looked at my hands and body first, then I looked at my surroundings. The restaurant, which had once looked enormous, was actually not that big. It was a cute, tasteful restaurant. I'm back to my normal size, right? When I looked back, the Cheshire Cat's once again giant face had grown smaller, and Roddy, who had previously towered over me, was now a small boy who came up to my chest. I started to feel embarrassed and fixed the hem of my skirt. Wait a minute, my clothes aren't torn. Well, they did shrink to fit me in the first place, so I guess it's not that strange. Oh wow, you're actually pretty big, Alice. Roddy looked up at me as if struck by something dazzling. Okay, I guess I'll get to it then. Roddy, this is goodbye, Alice. I got down on my knees and embraced Roddy. His skin was dry and he smelled like mold, but I didn't mind. Roddy squirmed around like he was being tickled. I told you not to cry, remember? If she found out I made you cry, I would lose my head. Sorry. Thank you. You're the one who made this possible. I haven't done anything. The Cheshire Cat poked my shoulder softly as if prompting me. I let go of Roddy and stood up. Hey, make sure you're not crying so you can see me clearly, alright? This is my big moment. Guess I'm gonna watch you get eaten by the big behemoth. Great White. Roddy jumped on top of the table effortlessly. He began to make his way toward where the Duchess was sitting, then said, "Hey, old man, you're kinda in my way," as he nudged the Duke with his foot, who was still bent over and face down on the table. He probably didn't have the energy to get angry, so when he lifted his head unsteadily, he let his body go limp against the back of the chair. Okay. As Roddy arrived at the very edge of the table, he took a deep breath and stared at the Duchess. As expected, the Duchess continued to shovel food into her mouth. I grabbed the Cheshire Cat's robe without thinking. Roddy gave me a quick wink, then proceeded to kick off the table. What just happened? He ran the length of the table, which was about 30 feet long, and jumped gracefully. Without showing any hesitation, Roddy jumped right into the Duchess's mouth. At that moment, the Duchess groaned. Did he get stuck in her throat? Groaned the Duchess again. She began to thump her chest repeatedly. My hands began to sweat into the gray robe I held. My heart began to beat faster. Please don't throw him up. I held my breath for what seemed like forever. Then I heard a loud gulping sound. From where we stood, I could tell that a large object had just been passed through the Duchess's throat. And then she continued to eat ravenously, as if nothing had happened. Without taking my eyes off the Duchess, I asked, "She ate him, right?" In my peripheral view, I could see the Cheshire Cat grin and nod. Good. I'm glad. I wiped away my tears. I'm happy for you, Roddy. Okay. Until next time.